And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. And with my buddy Chris, I'm Ron Foster. I'm here to touch base with you as I do every day. And Mr. Chris Edwards is in the building. What's going on?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited today. I got so much to share that I'm so excited
I
about.
know you are.
This is gonna be one of those touch base dailies that we just gonna, it's almost like a watch party, because we'll be watching an extensive amount of video, but we'll be commenting along the way, and we'll be putting our 4 cents, 2 cents, 3 cents, 20 cents into it, and it's going to be good. Especially when it also needs to be brought to your attention, so that way also you can share this information with your loved ones and your friends and the people you care about. And remember, Fridays is all about, until the election, is all about the election, the road to the election, and all the things that can help us either help other people get their direction and bearings right, or information that's going to help people be better voters. So that's what we are doing on our Focus Fridays. So welcome again to Focus Friday. It is all about the elections and what's going on. So in the news, yes, we can say the U.S. port workers strike is over. And
temporarily
into January
until January.
15th. But we heard it first from Fifi.
Yeah.
Fifi said yesterday it was not going to be long, because they're working on the deal right now. They already got part of their deal. Fifi, our community is on point. And I love when our community is, we're in line with all the news platforms. We were in line with Don Lemon.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah,
boots on the ground.
We got boots on the ground, and Fifi gave us some information yesterday, and we were like, wow. But yes, so it's good. It's good news, because one is we did not need that to be the October surprise for the election. And you had Biden and his people go in and said, look, guys, you're going to destroy our economy. We got to work on this. So while we put this on pause until January, you guys could be working on it behind the scenes, so that way it doesn't have to happen at all. So you guys work on this, and hopefully we won't have to see this in January. But we needed that. We definitely needed that. Number two, I've been saying this. I said this when it happened before, when Netanyahu came to Washington and then went down to Mar-a-Lago. Now, I know that was speculation, because obviously none of us were in that room when he was sitting down with Trump in Mar-a-Lago. But I remember mentioning, said they're going to increase the war to make people afraid to support Kamala.
Yeah.
And that, if you have not noticed, the Israelis under Netanyahu have not only gone into Gaza, but now they, over the last 2 weeks, have been in another front war, have gone into another country.
Here's the other thing, though, too. Netanyahu is doing this because he is fighting for his political life as well. And the longer he stays in war, the less likely they are to take him out of power, because
that's right.
No one ever takes a president out of power during wartime.
Yes. He's stopping his people from putting him in jail.
Yeah.
These two men are evil. And I'm just sorry. Yeah. They say don't call people evil. There are some people that are just evil. These two people could care less about their countries. Trump could care less about anyone else but himself. Netanyahu could care less about nothing but himself. These birds of a feather flock together. There's a reason why these two people are friends. There's a reason why they've also been, they have been brought up on crimes by their people.
By their countries, yes.
By their countries. And if you think this Israel-Iran thing is just happening by coincidence, and them going into Lebanon, I said this when he was first, when he came to New York, Washington, D.C., I said when he made his trip down to Mar-a-Lago, I said they're going to make this war bigger so that way it will stunt Kamala Harris's chances of being president.
I mean, it is all political. It's all political. And
And
it's happening in late September, October. Come on now.
This is the October. They want it to be the October surprise. But
wait, hold on. I don't know if you had this on your list of things to talk about. I just want to briefly touch base about Liz Cheney campaigning and publicly saying that she's going to vote for Kamala Harris next month. That's huge. They actually campaigned together and were on stage together yesterday and publicly said that. And over 100. Go ahead.
No, you were saying, and also Bruce Springsteen also endorsed with a commercial and everything Kamala Harris yesterday.
So big news.
Big news. The boss is definitely not Republican or Democrat, but he came in with his plaid shirt at the diner looking like I'm a regular Joe American. And said,
Which he is.
He is. I mean, his music is average Joe music lyrics.
Wait, one more thing about that the significance about where they did it. They did it in Wisconsin, the birthplace of the GOP.
The GOP.
If you do not listen to MSNBC, go back and listen to Alex Wagner's show from last night. She did a whole thing about it and how the GOP got started. It became the party of Lincoln and the party that freed the slaves, but then also the fact that Liz Cheney was excommunicated from the Republican Party, and now she is fully endorsing and publicly saying that she's going to vote for Kamala Harris, not because they agree on political views, because they're on opposite ends of the political spectrum, but she believes in country before party, and just having decency. So she's going to wants to put Kamala Harris in the White House, and then the fact that they did it in the states where the GOP was born, that's very significant.
Also, they were saying some of the commentators was that notice who was there for this, meaning you had this juxtaposition of Kamala Harris, possibly the first woman president, right? And then you had Liz Cheney, probably will be the leader of the new Republican Party. She will probably be the leader of the new Republican Party because they went back to where the Republican Party began.
Yeah.
That was a strategic move.
Yeah.
It was not by chance. It was also Liz Cheney also in some way. Guys, these two women are going to direct the country in a way back to. We need two-party systems. We need them. However, we need integrity. We need honesty. We need fair fights. We don't need crazy. And but I was very proud of the moment. As a former GOP member, the GOP doesn't mean too much. It doesn't have too many good things to talk about these days, but I'm an independent now. But my GOP days, I look back and say, yeah, Lincoln, the party of Lincoln. And so it was like you said, Alex Wagner. She did a good history. I did not even know that history about how the Whigs assimilated into the Republican Party. Because everyone says, "What happened to the Whigs?" Well, you're going they say the Republican Party is going the way of the Whigs, and most of them don't understand that clause about the Whigs, who were the Whigs back in the 1800s. But the Whigs assimilated into the Republican Party, which I did not know. We knew they disappeared. They went somewhere, but they went to the Republican Party.
I mean, think about it. The Republican Party has all these factions that kind of like branch off and kind of meld back in. Tea Party, now Trumpism. It's all stemming from the Republican Party.
Republican Party has always been a broken party.
Yeah, they have a rich history of that.
Yeah, because you think about also they had the Farmers Party or something like that. It was a feudalist or farmers party, which I did not know about that until I saw Alex's documentary. So check it out, MSNBC. Alex Wagner. She does an amazing job in kind of laying the groundwork to sharing about what happened yesterday in Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney on the platform, patriotism over partisanship.
Yep.
There we go. There we go. Well, we have some more people in the background coming in. I see the whole panel is here. We got Lise.
Hey, welcome back.
And we got our wonderful Gwendolyn.
What's up?
Hello, ladies.
The ladies are in the house.
The panel has returned.
As the world turns.
As the world turns. And
These are the days of our lives.
Man, back in the day, the soap operas.
Oh my goodness!
That's a good
closing question today. That's a good closing question for the Steve after when we end our show today. What was your favorite soap opera? Anyway, we didn't greet any people, did we? Let's.
No, who's number one today? Who got the gold?
Number one in the room is Brian Young.
That's
Creative.
2 days in a row.
He's 2 days in a row. Let's go, fam. Happy Friday. Number two for the silver is Chris R. Happy Friday, she says. And number three, the bronze, goes to Roshan Vincent. Good morning and happy Fridays, Ron and RLP family. Then you got the marvelous GR Houston Jack. Good morning, y'all, she says. And we got Mimi. Hello, Mimi. Mimi, morning. Good morning, Ron, Chris, and RLP crew. We got D Tuggle in the building. D Tuggle always sends me information. He sends me information during the day. As a matter of fact, I think he's the one that sent me the information about the Roland clip we're going to be doing today. That was really good. That's why it's so good. Guys, share your information. I'm only a DM away. Slide into my DM. I couldn't resist. Okay. I could not resist. Anyway, Jazzy's in the building. Good morning, everyone. And Rashawn says good morning to everyone. Elise says good morning. Who else is in here? Jazzy says, I will give Liz Cheney her props, but I'm not going to pretend that she wasn't a part of the harm. I'm glad she's learning, though. The two-party system is important if it's in a healthy way. Yes, Jazzy Jazz. Yeah. I agree. The Republicans have not done some good things in the past. They've done some rough stuff. That's why I'm a
though, it takes a big person to admit when they are wrong and to see the error of their ways. And she's not compromising what she believes in, but she's saying, hey, I'm not going to be a party to this.
Yes, I am not. Because also, again, the GOP or the Republican Party is not the Republican Party. Yeah. It's the MAGA party. And people need to stop calling it the Republican Party. Yeah. It is no longer the Republican Party. It's a cult. A personality cult. Right. It's not the Republican Party. And then the unfortunate, though, are still some of the seasoned Republicans that have been taken seized by the MAGA people, and they don't stand up and they don't say what's wrong. They don't stand up against these people, and they're terrified. They are scared, and they don't have enough guts. And what I'm loving about the women Republicans are the ones that are the most gutsy.
But it's always the case. Women have to stand up to save us. Always.
Women, and when Kamala wins this election, it will be because women saved this country.
Again.
Women
are always saving this country. And I'm gonna be real specific. Black women keep saving this country.
Whoops.
Black women keep saving this country. The other ones are catching on now, but it's black women that's been saving this country.
Say it again.
Because remember, white women said this time around, they said, you know what? We messed up last time with Clinton. We ain't going to do it twice.
Yeah, some of them have said that.
That still remains to be seen. We have to wait until November 6th.
And I will challenge. Well, obviously, if you're a white brother listening here on this platform, you probably are in tune with what we need as people of color and people that are trying to do the right thing for our country. But they are, it is to me, it is still unbelievable that white men in this country still continue to vote against their needs. And they get upset with the government, they get upset with whoever's in office, but yet they don't. You can get upset with Biden all you want, but you have made Biden's job harder by voting for a Republican that's going to work against him. And until white men get it together and say, wait a minute, and I'm not saying all white men, y'all know what I mean, because 57% of white people vote against their needs. They vote against the Democratic Party or anything. Well, it's only Democrat and Republicans, but we've never ever had a white majority to vote even Obama into office. We need to get white folks on board to vote for their needs, because when the least of us is getting things done, everybody wins.
But you're asking for a miracle. You do know that, right? I know. I hate to say it, but history has shown that there was that little period of time where the con came on the scene, and we'll use welfare. Majority of folks on welfare are not people of color. It's white people.
Yeah.
And white folks in New Mexico, to be exact, because I just researched it. So you're asking for folks to give up the idea that they are better than.
Yes.
Sorry, not sorry. So as long as you have people believing that this person who doesn't look like me is a problem and they're like a virus that needs to be, put out, it's just not going to happen. It's just
we are one country,
and they want to be that person. Like, there are people who want to be like Trump. They want to go out, say whatever they want to say, and feel like there are not any consequences or repercussions. But you picked the wrong one. You're gonna find out, as we have seen.
We're gonna share a clip today of someone is paying the consequences from drinking the soup and liquor of the Trump party.
That Kool-Aid.
That Jim Jones Kool-Aid is refreshing but deadly.
That's hilarious.
It's refreshing but deadly. So
when you know a certain individual, it hit different.
And I see here also who else is there? Hey, Charlene's in the building. What's going on, Charlene? Did we miss you? Hey, Charlene's in the building. Jazzy Jazz, she's in the building because Jazzy Jazz she's been speaking. I love it. Jazzy's been stepping up to the plate. She's been coming on the panel. She's been doing her thing. She says, true, but the way we already got that one. Okay, we got that one. Okay, moving right on. And she says, please talk about FEMA, the FEMA funding, because they don't understand why the money what they want, they aren't getting because of the GOP. That's my point. The point is that, and this why this came to front of mind is because I watched this white dude in Asheville, or maybe he was in Tennessee. He was from one of the states that got harmed in the hurricane. Why aren't they sending money? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? Then I'm like, wait a minute, the hurricane just happened. You're not going to get relief until they can get the roads done, get into your area. But y'all want to get rid of government.
It's not instantaneous. It takes time to get it up and running.
If you vote for the red people, the red state, the Republicans, if you vote for Project 2025, you will be getting rid of NOAA, which means you would have never known that the hurricane was coming. You would get rid of the FEMA because they want to get rid of FEMA, right? FEMA, that's what I was just saying, FEMA, right? FEMA or the EPA, right?
Yes, all of those. So the thing is, the things that protect you is what you need. Stop voting against your needs. My friends from other countries, they say, how is it possible that Americans vote against their needs? Yeah, and they
need too busy on social media.
Yeah, and they need to understand that right before the storm happened last week, those Republicans voted against funding. And the areas were some of the ones most impacted.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's where she is. She voted against it, but her area is impacted.
Yes.
And all of these,
and everyone
went through every one of those areas, and the Republican representatives for those areas all voted against that funding.
The GOP wants to give funding and relief after the election.
This is what they do. I mean, look at the infrastructure deal. They all voted against it, but yet so they are all standing up and saying, "Look at all this money we brought into our state to help
they
rebuild."
All voted against it.
No,
every one of them voted against it. And people need to clearly understand that issues of budget come through that House of Representatives.
There we go.
Yeah.
Those Republican House.
Are we going to do conjunction? Are we doing Schoolhouse Rock again today?
Are we going to do a little bit of it?
Okay, go for it, dear. Go for it, dear.
When they need to understand that when it comes to the budget for the United States of America, it starts in that House of Representatives.
There you go.
This current House of Representatives, which is headed by the Republican group, has not passed a clean bill. They keep passing continuing resolution. The current one is up until January because they keep wanting to tag insane things onto it. They have not passed a clean bill. They're the ones that if there were to be some increase to FEMA, it has to come through them. The president cannot do an executive order and increase the money. This has nothing to do with Ukraine or any other area in the world. This has to do, they flatly at their feet for not providing the funding, and the GOP members whose districts were impacted the most voted against the funding right before the hurricane. The Biden administration went to them to ask for money. So when they talk about that $750, that has nothing to do with Kamala Harris or Biden. It has to do with their Republican representatives in that House of Representatives. So need to clearly understand it has nothing to do with, it has to do with the people that you voted for. And if you keep voting Marjorie Taylor Greene in and she just told you all, I'm not going to give you any money, that's on you. But that's where the money comes from.
There you go. Because what? We all learned in civics, the Congress is the purse strings of the nation.
Absolutely. Starting with that.
You want money, it goes from Congress. If you want stuff for your programs, it comes through Congress. You want better schooling funding, comes from Congress. You want better bridges and roads, it comes from Congress.
So right after we need to be real specific about Congress. Remember, that's the
House of Representatives. Yes.
It starts with the House of Representatives, which is currently controlled by MAGA extremists and who do not want to fund anything for the good of the people. We need to be real specific. It's the House part of the Congress.
Thank you.
Tell them again.
Yes.
I don't want them to lump everybody together. I want them to know where it squarely lies.
That's right. Thank you, Elise.
At the feet of the ones that they put in there. If they voted for those Republicans, that's where it is. That's what they have to change. You have to change who you put in there. You need to vote against all of them. Every one of them up for a re-election. 435 seats. All of those Republicans that are currently there need to be voted out because
it's the same thing like with the senators for you see in Texas right now is very close with Mr. Cruz and what's his name?
Allred.
Allred,
yeah, Colin Allred and Ted Cruz. Yeah,
very close. Go. Cruz has done nothing for the people of Texas.
Well, no, he's putting him in. He's vacationed a lot.
Yes,
but they keep putting this person in when he does nothing for them.
That's a conversation a lot with making sure that the Black people who did not vote get out and vote, because Texas had a large number of Black people who didn't vote. Now, hopefully the ones that I know that weren't registered are registered and will vote. My daughter has gotten her registration and she is surely waiting for early voting to start so she can vote.
Vote early. If you can vote early, go early. Yes. Because what I'm going to show you now, this is something you all need to know. This is what's going to listen to this. So what we're going to do is a different format today. We're going to pretty much kind of like, it's almost like a watch party, because Roland Matin did such a great job yesterday talking about Greg Palast releases a new documentary called Vigilantes, Inc. And it's based on how the KKK used this strategy back in 1946. But now the Republican Party today has resurrected it. And they're individuals that are stopping people from voting. And it's because of individuals that
hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people are being taken off the voter rolls across the country is fascinating. So here it goes. This is all credit for Roland Matin for what they've done. I love them. I watch them all the time. And guys, also make sure you support Black media. This is one of those platforms that you need to support because they do so much for getting news out that the main media is not talking about. And this, you would think the main media would be talking about this because this is the real deal. Here we go. Are y'all ready?
No audio.
No audio?
No audio.
Oh, let me change it out then. So okay, hold on. Let me move it back and go back in. Let me go back in.
It's live TV.
Yes, this is live. This is live. Okay, there we go. So I thought you could just do this open screen, but you have to still do it individually. Okay, that's one thing they haven't changed yet in StreamYard. Okay, here we go. And now we can do it.
About the latest attacks on the right to vote, here is a sneak peek.
You're telling me 2,600 miles away, 2 days before the election, that if I want to vote, all I have to do is show up and prove as an American citizen that I have the right to vote again?
Is this an attempt to remove a lot of Democrats, Black people from voting to win the election?
I am far from that, sir. And you have crossed the line.
And today to come out and not be able to vote and no one can give you an explanation, like it's extremely emotional and it bothers me. It bothers me to my core.
Greg joins us now from Los Angeles. Greg, glad to have you here. So, I mean, you really spent a lot of time in Georgia looking at what's going on in that particular state and all of the ways that they are doing all they can to, frankly, steal the 2024 election. They are scared to death of losing Georgia again, and Republicans are hell-bent in that state and others to ensure they do not lose.
Oh, yeah. So here's the new deal. The reason it's called Vigilantes, Inc. is that's the name that the Ku Klux Klan incorporated under. But now, and they came up with these vigilante attacks in 1946, where individuals are challenging voters, Black voters, saying they shouldn't be allowed to vote. That was considered illegal in 46, but they brought it back. Donald Trump brought it back with his cronies in 2020. But they only had 88 vigilantes and only in one state, Georgia. But those 88 vigilantes, you heard that woman throwing me out. You heard when I asked her, is this an attempt to remove Black voters, Democrats from the voter rolls? And that woman personally, are you ready for this, Roland? She personally challenged 32,000 voters. She's a Republican Party official, and she challenged 32,000 voters in Cobb County, Georgia alone.
So what they did was by changing the law, they allowed one individual to literally challenge thousands of people. No standing, no requirement. They could just come up and make an allegation, and all of a sudden you're screwed.
Yes, and one of the people that was screwed, as you say, you heard of, and so those of you watching, that was Major Gamaliel Turner. He's America's expert on warfare of the future. He's from Columbus, Fort Benning, Georgia. He was assigned by the military to Fort Hueneme, California, and the Republican Party chairman in Southern Georgia challenged his right to vote because they said, well, he doesn't live in Georgia anymore. He's in California. This vigilante Republican official, remember, this is not a government official. This is a Republican Party official. And this Republican Party official challenged Major Turner and 4,000 other black soldiers. Can you imagine? Black soldiers assigned to Afghanistan, black soldiers assigned to Germany and California.
But I thought they loved the military.
Oh my gosh, put it out! Oh, hurry! Oh,
so you see what's going on here, right? I mean, it's just you can't. You almost say you can't make this stuff up, but it's really happening. Think about one woman was able to, and this law is that any person can go against, go on a list and create a list and say, I'm challenging these people. And then you have to, and what they've been doing is they've been going after people that are in the military, that live outside of their state because they're on bases. And so they can vote, they vote from their base, but they're what they call, they vote absentees and or college students. And so all these college students and military people, they're trying to vote. And then they realize they can't vote. And then when they make these challenges, like in states in Georgia, they have to go back and be present physically to get the application and everything done to prove that
they can't do that. And they're not,
most people are not going to do it.
Selecting white people. They're only targeting black people or people of color.
This is like, I was like, yo, I got to share this. I got to share this information. Because to me, it's one of those things that, it just makes you cringe. But you saw how the black girl, she was upset. But the reason why you find she's upset because her mom was told that she couldn't vote. She's been voting there for 52 years. And now they say she can't vote. Man, it's just waiting for
devil.
And I tell you, like I said, I reserve the word evil for a certain small batch of people. Even that batch is getting larger and larger these days.
I think they deserve evil. This is. I think we have to admit this is pure evil.
It is pure evil.
Like it is evil, and I always tell people this: if you are to say you believe in good, you believe in God, you got to believe in the evil.
You got to,
because they work. They have to. They're working against everything. It's nothing but pure evil. How can I sit here and go and purge them from the rolls, or have them have to prove their identity? Maybe someone needs to find her name and make her prove her identity. That's what I would have found. I'd have found her name and address and challenged her.
Well,
made her have to go in.
She doesn't even live in the state. She probably doesn't live the address that she has on her voter registration card because a lot of them don't.
It is insane. But here we go. Let me see here, and put this up here and get the sound going again.
Because they know that the military doesn't love Trump. This is the guy who said, the guys in the military graveyards are just a bunch of losers. No, they don't like him. And so they took away Major Turner's vote. And you heard him say, so he calls up now, again, this is not government. It's as if Greg Palast said, oh, Roland Martin doesn't live wherever you live in your state. I don't know, DC or wherever. Roland Martin doesn't live there. Don't let him vote. But they're not doing it with one voter where they fill out a form. They're sending in emails with lists of thousands of voters. This guy sent in a list of 4,000 black soldiers, blocked them from getting their vote. The major calls from California, says, where's my vote? Where's my ballot? My absentee ballot? He said, oh, no, you've been challenged, Mr. Turner. So if you want to get your ballot, all you have to do is fly 2,600 miles to our office and prove you're an American citizen. What? White voters didn't have to do this. And it was 180,000 voters. And by the way, Major Turner, as you'll see in my film, Major Turner does go to Georgia And he brings so he flies 5,000 miles round trip, and he also brings in a voting rights attorney, Mark Elias, who is now Kamala Harris's voting rights specialist. And he got his vote back. He had to go to federal court. Imagine he had to drive, go 5,000 miles round trip, go to federal court. His vote was restored, but the judge would not allow the other 4,000 black men to get their votes. The 32,000 votes, we were able to block that lady because people saw my film, Vigilantes, Inc. And the elections board, even the Republicans said, we're not going to accept this stuff. But now it's getting worse. So here's the danger, Roland. Now, again, my film is called Vigilantes, Inc. And I want to mention something very, very quickly. You can actually stream the film starting today for free if you go to saveyourvote.org. And thank you very much to Jamie Foxx and Leonardo DiCaprio and George DiCaprio, my producer, one of my producers, who is saying, you can go to gregpalast.com, gregpalast.com, and download the film for free, or saveyourvote.org. And they've made it available for free streaming. Send around the link. And by the way, if you go to saveyourvote.org, we show you how to check your registration. We show you we give you the phone numbers in case you need lawyers when you're at the polling station and you find out you've been challenged. We're going to help you get through this. We got to fight it back. I'm working with Black Voters Matter, with the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who I spoke to this morning, Martin Sheen, NAACP. We're not standing here letting these vigilantes pick our president rather than the voters.
Question for the panelists. Kwame, you're first.
Arc'teryx. Warn when it counts.
Wow. I mean, what do you guys think of this? Did any of you guys know about this before this?
I did not know about his movie. Did not know. We'll more than likely watch it this evening.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching it today.
You mean know about the purging of that they could do this?
Well, no, but did you know about his movie? Did you know about this? When he goes into it later on, how they started with these 88 people in Georgia, and now they have registered for this election 40,000 vigilantes. 40,000 vigilantes who are now working to purge the rolls nationwide.
Because Georgia put that in place in Georgia that you could do that. You could challenge people. They had 2 men who challenged 100,000 people.
Yes.
So they're challenging that. I think that you can challenge people in Texas. So they have these people all over the place who are challenging people of color.
Yes.
Black and other people who are other non-white people. And you saw the intimidation that they were doing in Texas with the Hispanic women who were trying to help get Hispanic people in
the 87-year-old woman
registered to vote. So they've been doing that, and I hadn't seen the film, but I knew that people were doing it and had seen some of the numbers it's like, how can 2 people challenge 100,000 people? You don't know 100,000 people.
That's right.
You should only be able to challenge somebody if you know them. If you don't know those people, you shouldn't have the right to do anything. And that's on top of these states purging hundreds of thousands of people.
But it's the same system they're using for books. Remember, it's not all these people canceling books. There's 3 people. 3 people. I think it's 2 women and a man.
Started with
their names.
Started with the Mothers of Liberty.
Yep. What are they called?
They're called the Mothers of Liberty, and they are actually they're losing some ground in Florida because people are coming out for those Board of Education seats that they had and challenging them because they're on boards of education. They're showing up in random places. They're not a part of the state, the cities or states that they're coming to and testifying at these Board of Educations. But it's Mothers of Liberty. They recruited thousands of people, some Black people, which I'll never understand how you go against yourself. But there's always somebody.
Look, white people go against themselves. There's Black people that go against themselves also. Hello, Tim
all
Scott.
The time.
Hello, Tim Scott. And what's the other one? What's his name?
Brian Donaldson looks like an idiot, but
Brian Roland, or his name is Brian. Yeah. Anyway,
it's Donaldson. He's out of the one out of
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're gonna go back, and then we're gonna close it out with this.
Here we go. And Poppy Kwame speaking. Hold on a second.
They're basically the people of color represent around 30% of the electorate, but we only cast about 22% of the actual ballots. So if we have that gap of about 8%, what do you think that's driven by? Is this driven by all the things you highlighted in your movie, or do you see more?
Yes, absolutely. When we say that there was a lower turnout amongst minority voters, especially black voters, it's not that they're not trying to vote. Did you know that, you go in, you've been challenged or you've been purged, and they hand you something called a provisional ballot? I call it a placebo ballot. They make you think you voted, but you haven't. According to the United States government, 2.7 million provisional ballots were thrown out, rejected in the last presidential election. 2.7 million ballots. And dig this, if you're black, the chance your provisional ballot won't be counted is 700% higher than if you're white. 500% higher if you're Hispanic than if you're white. So, and if basically, so black people are trying to vote, but they show up and, like Major Turner, you don't get your ballot because someone's challenged you. You've been purged. And at the end of that little clip, we had a woman, an African-American young woman in tears. You know why? Because her grandmother had been voting in the same polling station for 50 years. Shows up and they say, you can't vote here. You're not on the voter rolls anymore because you don't live in Georgia anymore. I went to her house.
If you had to offer one solution to that, what do you think we can focus on like a laser between now and the election? What do you think that one thing that we can work on if you want to make a recommendation to the audience?
Absolutely. We have to stop the vigilante. Like Kamala Harris's voter protection person says, the number one threat in this year, brand new, is this massive vigilante voter attack. In Georgia, they took it out for a test drive in Georgia in 2020, and they had 88 vigilantes. The group that the Trump group that's behind this, True the Vote, they've gone from 88 vigilantes. Are you ready for this? They've signed up 40,000 vigilantes. They've already, as of 5 weeks ago, they challenged 832,000 voters. This story is not being covered. And that's why Harris and Elias are losing their minds. Actually, Reverend Jackson was talking with Kamala Harris about this on Saturday and talking about our film. So we're using the film as a weapon. It's not a movie, it's a movement. I just got a message from the head of the NAACP in Georgia, Gerald Griggs, that we're going to be showing the movie and using that as a basis for a planning discussion of the voting rights leadership, not only in Georgia, but I'm going to Houston. I'm going to be in other cities, but most important is to get this thing out for people to see the film, pass it around, and learn how to protect yourself.
Well, I'm going to let you guys see the rest of that on your own, but man, I mean, is that information or what? Is that valuable information?
I'm going to watch this today.
That's critical information. Over 800,000 people.
They already have now, today, as of this was yesterday, already removed 836,000 people from the rolls as of yesterday. 40,000 people.
Can I say something? I know that this is somewhat being petty, but why aren't we doing the same thing?
Absolutely.
Good question.
No, seriously, like, why aren't we doing the same thing?
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. Georgia, go out there, find those Republicans and challenge them all. Challenge as many
all
as
of
you
them.
can. Challenge 30-some thousand of them. Just challenge them.
Because then when you do that, you negate the entire voter pool.
At some point, you have to get to the point where you don't say, "Oh, turn the other cheek." I'm gonna turn the other cheek. All right, I'm gonna show you.
You know what it is?
I'm gonna show you my finger.
It reminds me of that phrase of if you're not cheating, you're not winning, or you're not trying, right?
Right.
That's what that is. We still have the childlike belief that if we do what's right, everything will work out the way it's supposed to.
Which is a lie.
Which is
not at all
a lie.
That's a childhood lie. Our parents told us that to keep us in order. It does not work out. Sometimes the thing is that if someone is coming at you with a baseball bat, you can say, oh, if I stand still, he won't hit me.
Right.
No, that's not true. If that person's coming at you with a baseball bat, you might have to take your arm or something to protect yourself. You may have to go tackle him. You may have to go, as he's coming to you, you may have to go after him because to protect yourself. And it's a lie that, oh, it'll just all work out. It'll just all work out. And it's not. You have to work. Anything you want in life, you have to work for.
You got to work for it.
Right.
You want policies. You got to work for those policies. So
they say the best.
But isn't it interesting? Isn't it ironic though? The party that calls everybody cheating. It's the gall. It's the gall of these are the audacity.
Yeah.
These are the people that are cheating across the country. And it's always, we used to say this at church back in the old days. I still say it to this day. Those that are preaching from the pulpit, the thing that is, and they're going crazy about, a lot of the folks that are preaching and going crazy, or whatever the case may be, or yelling and stomping, or not even just at church. This is just in general.
Right.
I was raised in church, so this is the analogy. But those are the people that are usually going through that thing. Those are the things. Those are the people that are used when they talk when it's raging about the thief. It's probably they probably usually are the thieves. Maybe they got delivered, but they're probably the thief.
Well, you know, my philosophy is the ones that screaming the most about something are the ones that's doing it.
Exactly.
So if you screaming about that drag queen, I want to see your closet.
They're the ones dressing.
What brand eyeliner are you wearing?
Yeah.
So I want to see, because inevitably, and this year, if nothing else has proven that, week after week, all of these people are being exposed as pedophiles, all kinds of, and they all been on those platforms. Oh, we're against this and we're against that. No, you want to pass laws in Tennessee, down, what is it, Kentucky and places like that, for you to be able to marry a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
What is that but a pedophile? So those are the people, and they want to
legalization of it.
And what we do, we've been so conditioned by church to be take the high road, turn the other cheek, and all that stuff. These people are preaching this stuff in their churches now to do these things. Yeah. You have those pastors, these evangelical Christians who are out and out just preaching stuff, where our pastors are, well, if I say that, they're going to take away my tax exempt status. Then why aren't they worried? Why hasn't their status been challenged? We have to stop thinking that if we put together a defense against all of these things, if we start being proactive and start doing some things, that we are doing what we're supposed to do, we're not going against God, which is what so many people worry about. We've been so brainwashed and conditioned that.
Well, like for instance, think about how many pastors, you can go to the Google and look it up. How many pastors, good pastors that love God, pastors that love people, have been kicked out of their churches because they went against Trump.
Yep.
Then you go and start another church.
That's me. I'll be like this. Well, I'm out. Let me go, because you ain't gonna stop the gospel. I'm gonna go find another church and preach. Look. The church building is not the church building is not the church anyway.
And
that's just where we hang out.
They kicked her out. She just said, "Okay, so I'm going over here and do it again. I'm not going to stop saying who I am. I'm just going to go over here and do my thing." That pastor, if you're not going and doing your thing, then you do it. I mean, that's why half of these big mega church pastors are afraid to say anything. I don't care. And I think when we start caring enough about the people and not about ourselves and our wallets, then we'll start doing some stuff.
Yep. I said, how is it possible that, there's so many Christian pastors. I don't know about the Jewish synagogue leaders or anything. That I just know the Christian. I know that I watched those numbers.
Right.
How many of them have been kicked out of their churches because they're preaching the gospel and saying, I am not a Trump supporter. I am not drinking at the Trump trough. So anyway, there's another thing that's out there. What time is it? Let me make sure we're good on time.
We're good.
we might be able to get to squeeze this one in. This is something else that I wanted to bring. So guys, make sure all this is going to be linked to this video. So you'll have also, let me just end this here. Let me say stop sharing. There needs to be a way for them to switch. That's what I'm waiting for, the day when StreamYard gets you there to switch.
So
videos.
while Ron is waiting on that, I'm going to say, you know, here's a bit of playing the advocate on the other side.
Yes.
This would be an appropriate time to challenge thousands of their rights to vote. Because next week is a deadline in most places to register.
Yeah. I wish Democrats were as ruthless as Republicans were. I mean, Republicans, they have a whole, there's a level of audacity that exists among Republicans.
If Democrats would do exactly what Republicans are doing, they would stop doing it. They would not do it because then they'd be like, it's not worth it. They would stop doing it.
That's what I say, you know, go today, challenge a few of them. If I was in Georgia, I'd be in there pushing buttons right now.
The whole thing is they're just creating lists.
What's my district? Let me challenge all of these people.
They're just creating lists. They're just creating lists.
Have them go and prove that they live in that district.
Well, here's one. Don Lemon did a great job. So I am a lemon head. I belong to Lemon Nation. So I belong to Lemon Nation. I'm always in the feed and the chat and chatting and talking away with Don Lemon's platform. I'm very happy that he has this platform because he also he shares, because he's a journalist, and he always kind of he shares between being a journalist and being a regular citizen now. Okay, he's not on CNN any longer. He can say what he wants to say. And he has always amazing guests. But this one was really good yesterday. And it just so happened that Roland had his thing come out that night. And then Don had his early in the day, because Don is usually on the same time we're on. And then they have the 5. So this is what was fascinating about this one. And let me share this one with you all. Because this one is going to make you kind of say something. Yeah, it's gonna take you by storm. Here we go.
With some breaking news.
Yes.
Because I want to give the MAGA cult, for all of those people who Donald Trump can do no wrong, right? Who followed the cult leaders' advice and lies. Who went to the Capitol on January 6th.
Who are buying the merch to bail him out of his financial troubles.
May I introduce you to one Tina Peters? Let me just give you her latest biography. And if you search her on Wikipedia or the internet, Tina Peters is a former Colorado County clerk who promoted 2020 election conspiracy theories. She was sentenced today to 9 years behind bars after being convicted of charges including official misconduct in connection with the security breach of Mesa County's voting system. Now, you always hear about Democrats are stealing the election. It's fraud. They're getting all these people to vote. Okay, now let me explain. And you guys want to stick around for this. You want to watch it, call your friends, tell everybody to watch this, because we have her arrest video, and I'm going to show it to you.
Oh, no.
Francesca, she was convicted on 4 felony counts, 3 misdemeanor charges in August for using another person's security badge to allow someone associated with the MyPillow founder, Mike Lindell, makes an appearance in this one, a prominent election denier and ally of the former president, Donald Trump. She gave him access to county election equipment involving Dominion voting system. Okay? All right. The county's machines had to be replaced afterward when data, including passwords for the machines, was posted online. Peters claimed that she didn't know the information would become public. The judge told Peters she had no consideration for how her lies had harmed her county and her colleagues. The damage is immeasurable. Barrett said, "I'm convinced that you would do it all over again if you could."
Hey.
Okay. You're going to hear from the judge and you're going to hear from her, and then we're going to pick all of this up. So she was arrested. To me, I'm not exactly sure where it is. It looks like she may have been at a country club or someplace. She was in a public setting. She could have been in her place of business. The cops came in and arrested her, and we're going to roll the tape. Here it is.
So good.
Okay, Randy, put your cup down and turn around. Ma'am?
Let go of me. You let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me. Oh, no.
The sound of handcuffs.
It hurts. Let go of me.
Yes, stop resisting.
Do you understand?
I've been there. I mean, in different circumstances.
Pause it. Okay, so here's my question. Why isn't she complying? Because if it had been someone who looked like me, I mean, who knows what would have happened? Am I lying, Francesca?
Of course not.
Okay.
No, I mean, at this point, if you're resisting at this point, you get thrown to the ground. I mean, not necessarily slammed, but you're going to get pushed up against something. Also, I've been arrested for peaceful demonstration. It's called direct action, as we do, we crazy lefties. And the more you resist on some handcuffs, the
tighter they get.
The higher they're going to put them up your back, the tighter it's going to be, the worse it's going to be for you. Just calm down. Don't mess up your Talbot's, jacket there. And
I think it might be Ann, whatever you call it.
Ann Taylor. I don't know. It's got some, maybe some
like
cheap.
Talbot's.
It's Talbot's. It's Chico. It's like St. John. That brand.
All right, let's listen. I want Rainbow. So back it up just a little bit because I want people to get the full effect, and then Francesca and I are going to quietly let you, because I want everyone to get the full effect, Francesca. So, and wait till you hear how she speaks to the cops. Okay, let's let it play in its entirety. Here it is.
Do you understand? Stop it! No, let go of me.
Knock it off.
Give me my key to my car. Give me my key to my car.
How are you gonna drive?
Give me my key to my car. Give it to me. Give me my key.
I'm currently looking to buy.
Let it go through. But this is so funny because she is just going all in. But notice also, remember the woman that was, let me pause this real quick. The woman that was in the Craig video that we just watched with Roland was wearing the same kind of jacket. I was just like, wow, they go to the same fashion person.
It's Talbot's. That's Talbot's.
Talbot's.
That's not Chico. That's Talbot's.
Here we go. Wait, here we go.
And I'm going to show all the bruises that you put on me.
If you're not going to cooperate, you'll be charged with obstructing.
Let go of me.
You understand that?
You let go of me now.
No, ma'am.
You're bruising me. Let go
Stop
of me.
pulling against us.
I'm not pulling against you. Let go of me.
Stand up like an adult.
Shut up.
Ooh.
What an asshole thing to say to me.
Did you hear? She said, "What an asshole thing to say to me." Go ahead. Okay, so now can you imagine that?
Stand up like an adult. I mean, you are like I have a 2-year-old. This is 2.
So they're gonna go into that, but you just can't. I mean, I just want to hear from you guys before we go with this video even more. I mean, again, we've seen this 1,000 times where people not like us do the. I literally saw a man beat a policeman down. White guy.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
And they did nothing. They didn't shoot him. They didn't tase him. They didn't beat him down to the ground. I mean, how is it possible?
Privilege.
It's privilege. My husband likes to watch those bad cop videos and the ones that say like know your rights because he's military. What I don't like to watch them because there are always some white guy who the moment they get pulled over, they start popping off and saying all kinds of stuff, knowing good and damn well if he was brown, he'd be shot within with seconds. I'm thinking we can't go to places and say You work for me. You don't know what you're doing. You don't like. We can't do stuff like that. We can't do stuff like that. I was like, this is privilege. That's all I see. It's just privilege. And
I mean, there's that video of the guy who beats down the cop and then takes the cop's car.
Yes.
And they never shoot at him. They never shoot
I'm
at
sitting there like, how's this? But again, it goes to show you police officers make a conscious decision of what they're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Always.
That's a conscious decision. And again, I mean, not to take away from the story of what this woman did, but this woman, she was like, how dare you? How could you arrest me? But she's the criminal.
Yes.
She's the criminal.
But you've heard
some. She got what, 9 years? She got 9 years, right?
Well, here we go. We're gonna go right into the video when it talks about her time. What the judge does. The judge lays into her. I mean, if you want to follow the Trumpsters, anyway, we're gonna go into this. Let me just see. Let me pop this off, and here we go.
To the jail for her arraignment. Okay, Francesca?
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't like the conditions under which that she will be sleeping or staying or for the next few hours or overnight until she is bailed out. She doesn't like it. She wants a special kind of bed. You know, she's just like, me go to jail. So this is her.
In with Gen Pop, man. There you go.
Pop. So here she is in front of the judge who is going to be sentencing her, and who is she is in front of arraignment. And usually you're nice to the judge, right? Because you want a little special treatment, right?
Sure.
Here she is in court after that arrest. Here she is.
Very taken back by how awful I've been depicted when I was just trying to do my job. The people expected me to do. When I look at the people that have spoken here today and asking for harsh sentences, I'm just appalled. I feel bad for them because I know I've often said God doesn't like people messing with his kids. And I believe I'm a child of God. And I believe that it was important for someone to stand up. And I chose to do that. I have health problems that would not be treatable in the Department of Corrections.
I'm white.
First of all, I need a magnetic mattress. I've been on that since 1995. I was in 2 rear-end collisions in 84 and 2010. It was pretty severe. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I don't know if you can zoom in a little bit, and chronic fatigue as a result. And I had to stop working for the airlines in 1995. I was up all night because I was in bed all day. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't control these symptoms until I got, believe it or not, a magnetic mattress of which I still sleep on. I will not have that at the Department of Corrections.
Is it a MyPillow mattress? A magnetic mattress.
I think I got it wrong. Okay, so that was her arrest. This was her sentencing. And so I think there had been people speaking at her sentencing.
Yes.
Saying she deserved harsh punishment. It wasn't her arraignment. That was her sentencing. Different outfits, right? So they released her arrest video.
You can't
and
make
then
this up.
now they released her sentencing video. Now, what do you think of that? I can't believe it. I was just doing my job. God has called me to do this. It's the crazy MAGA cult brain.
Well,
and also the evangelical white nationalist brain as well.
So, okay, again, this was election interference of the highest degree. This was ballot tampering. This was all kinds of security breaches that the Mesa County voters entrusted their voice to. And
there's no election interference except for on the left, Francesca. Don't you know that?
Right,
if you're on the right and you're white, you cannot interfere in the election. I'm 100%. Sorry.
And to me, so the real listening to her, obviously seeing her get arrested and how much she protested, and then also listening to her actually explains the 9 years, which sounds harsh. It sounds like, damn, that's a lot of years. I think that's longer than many of the Jan 6ers have seen in terms of prison time. But then you hear her saying, I was called to do this by God. Someone had to do this. And you understand that put in the judge's position, this person would probably do it again. This person is well connected. This person clearly was able to, be in control when it came to the Mesa County clerk election board. And she was able to get her hands on that. Like, this is someone who would do this again. She could do this again in November. She could do this again in 4 years, in 2 years. Like, so that's the other thing of, you judge how many years and what your sentence is based on whether this person has any remorse about what they did and whether they are a threat to possibly doing it again and a threat to the public. So, and also Don, given, and I know we're going to talk about the broader news, but given the fact that Donald Trump will not face any kind of accountability for his actions related to the 2020 election before the 2024 election, it is kind of nice to see someone facing the music, because it sends a message that, look, not everyone out there who's going to be doing Donald Trump's bidding in 2024 this year is Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are Tina Peters. And all the Tina Peters is out there, be on like watch out, because this could be you.
Well, that was a message. That's why I ran this, because I was going to start with, are the Trumps broke and all this whole thing about Melania asking for money. And I said, well, this is a lesson to the people who I like to call in this program the trolls, who like to get into the comments and, constantly make excuses for Donald Trump. They are part of a MAGA cult, right? They have cult brain. They are the marks, right? They are the people who are drinking the MAGA Kool-Aid, if you know what I mean. Jim Jones, right? Drinking the Kool-Aid. And so this is a lesson. Tina Peters was arrested and is going to jail for 9 years. Do you know what Donald Trump is doing? Luxuriating at his palatial estate on the coast of Florida, playing golf, flying around on his jet, and running for president. And you are sitting your ass in jail because you believed the cult leader. And by the way, Francesca, you're one smart lady, because you are channeling the judge,
yes,
who told Tina Peters pretty much everything that you just said. Watch.
Oh, the takedown. Oh, shoot, the stupid commercials. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We skip. Fantasy or reality.
I'm convinced you would do it all over again if you could. You're as defiant as a defendant as this court has ever seen. You don't have those histories of drug and alcohol abuse. There's no lifetime of trauma, not even close to the type of mitigating circumstances I would see from many folks who sit in that chair. No, to the contrary, Ms. Peters, you are a privileged person. You are as privileged as they come.
Oof.
And you use that privilege to obtain power, a following, and fame. And to be sure, there's no doubt in my mind that it's exactly what you wanted, and it defies all sense of common sense to believe when you suggested to me a few moments ago that you didn't want this attention. No, you crave it, ma'am. And there is no one in this courtroom who would consider that to be anything other than the absolute truth. But to get to the point of what it is that you did here, it's my impression distinctly that you never took your job of clerking particularly seriously. You didn't complete the certification. One scandal after another followed you in your time as the clerk. And ultimately, it was a belief that the echo chamber in which you live couldn't be wrong, among other things, that led you to do what you did here.
Okay, pause it.
Stop.
He said the echo chamber in which you live could not convince you that you could be wrong.
Dude,
wow. Go ahead, Francesca. What do you think?
No, he's just reading her like the read, just boom, boom, your privilege. And you use that privilege to wield your power. And then he's bringing up the receipts about her clerkship. I'm just like, I mean, we know MAGA is going to come for this guy, but like at least there are some probably not Trump appointed judges out there who are still on it.
So you get the point, guys. You can finish seeing the rest of this show, but it like Don was saying, it's a great feeling to see
someone pay for their stupidity in drinking from the fountain of stupidity from Trump's trough. Again, these people think that they think they're on this mission from God or wherever the thing that they believe in. They are, I mean, he really reads her. The judge lets her have it. Gwendolyn, what do you have to say?
Well, the library was clearly still open. I need to go tune in and get the rest of that story. But it's also, people like to throw in God whenever they are knowingly doing something that gives them power over others. Think slavery.
Yeah.
Right? We love to throw in, well, don't you want to be a good Christian? Don't you want to be? And we like to use it to manipulate people into creating things. She knows she's privileged. Like, it's clear. She's asking for her car keys while she's getting arrested.
She's getting arrested. Right? She wants her car keys.
Right? So she knows she's privileged. She knows she has power. And then you go in there, you're like, I cannot sleep on these mattresses. Like,
I need a magnetic mattress.
Like, you can't make up that stuff. Like, that's an SNL skit, like, just written all by itself. Like, who does that? I need a new mattress and I need curtains. It's like, you're in jail, ma'am. You committed a crime. Like, when will that kick in for you?
They just put her in a cell with a butch woman that's going to take full advantage of her. Okay.
See, now you had to go there.
People need to learn.
They need to learn.
No, it's okay. So last thing, it is upsetting because I thought about this last week. I did not anticipate to be in a time where I am still fighting for my right to vote and my right to exist. I just knew as a kid, we'd be further along and we are going back, and it hasn't been that long. Like, it's 50 something
Civil rights
years,
is only 60 years old. 50, I'm 60, so it's 50, it's 60. The civil rights movement bill was 68, right?
Yeah. So that part upsets me, but my mama and daddy raised fighters, so trust. We have plenty of time to get out and do what needs to be done.
I just thought this. I said this would be two good treats for you guys today. This was definitely one. This was the audacity, but what was similar was what was just interesting is that this woman was the similar personality type of the woman that was in Georgia in Cobb County. Absolutely. They have this same, they're older white women,
right,
with this sense of privilege where they feel like they control boards, election boards, and they feel like it's their religious obligation to save the world and purge the world of the Democrats.
And I don't know which God they're talking about. Who they're serving. Like, even in that, listening to the judge read that she never completed her certification to do that job.
She thought she was good. She thought she was better than the people.
Still allowed to have certification, but so it's all about privilege and about God's children. Everybody want to claim to be God's children. Remember what they did to his son?
Yeah,
they crucified him.
They crucified his son. He was the child of God.
You really don't want to be Jesus.
You're right. No one wants to be Jesus.
And I think that's the thing they always using, like, oh, this makes me so much better than everybody else because and they act like they're the only ones that can claim to be children of God.
Well, and guess what? He done found out.
Well, she's gonna
be locked up the hard way.
Well, I have to tell you all that one of the things they do when they get arrested is complain about conditions in prison, in the jails, right? We had one in DC they don't have a vegan diet and I need a vegan diet, so I need to be transferred. So somebody they transferred to Virginia. I would say, oh, we have vegan, and I'd have brought them a salad every day with a vinaigrette dressing. Every day you'd have vegan. Every day.
It's the audacity.
But they know they can do that because if you go in there and you tell them you need a magnetic mattress, they're gonna let you sleep on that spring.
But guess what? She's gonna find out the hard way.
That was.
But Ron, have you seen the clip of her before she got arrested? when they asked her, what if she get arrested? She said, if I thought I was going to be arrested, I'd be on a beach somewhere. So if she get out, they better take her passport.
I didn't see that part.
Yeah, there's a video of her saying that if she thought that she would get arrested for what she did, she would probably be on a beach somewhere, and she's laughing. There's a video out there for that.
Well, that's probably why the judge probably saw that video, and probably that's why her sentence was what it. He went all in. He goes in some more,
He did.
But he went in. He was like, "You are you are privileged." He didn't say he didn't want to use the white word, but he was like, "You are you are as privileged as they come."
Right.
I mean, but she was still arrogant. Could you imagine standing before the judge in your sentencing and say,
no remorse?
I don't want I don't want this mattress. I need a magnetic mattress. Who says this?
I'm sure she was also ordering her meals, like what she wanted to eat. I mean, a little caviar, a little champagne.
And she did it.
A room with a view.
Yeah. And she said she did the job. The people, she was doing the job she thought the people wanted to do.
Yes.
Donald Trump.
And now the people have told you to go sit down.
The people have spoken. The people have spoken. You are going to jail.
Going to jail.
Well, so the two things you guys have to remember. I'm going to link these into the description. One is you can finish this one because it gets even. I mean, the judge, he even goes in even more. He's really, I was like, thank God there's still judges out there that still do their work and they haven't been contaminated by the Trump years. But then also definitely, and I'm going to share this real quick so you have the website just so you know what it looks like, because this is so important. Share this with your friends, send it to your friends. Put it in an email, put it on threads, put it on your Twitter, wherever you can put this link, put this link on, because it is going to help people understand why they're not on the rolls and why they need to be conscious of what is happening. Because you could be one of those 800,000 people that are already purged. But he even goes in and talks about Kemp's connection, Governor Kemp's connection to the first family to house slaves and market slaves. His family was responsible for that. That is where the Kemps got most of their money, and they made so much money, and it was so embarrassed by their name. They changed their name from their original name to Kemp because they were associated with the beginning of slavery in America, in Georgia. It's so fascinating. I mean, this is worth reading. Looking at. So again, here it is. This is the website, Craig Palast, and check it out. You have the home, you have the film, media, also all the stuff, donation, bio. This is donate to watch. If you want to do that, but you can do it for free. You can just kind of look it up, sign up, and get the newsletter. And there's other stuff here as well. But he's an investigative journalist, and he does a great job with this. And I think we need to spread it. We need to share it. We got 4 weeks, but voting is now. Voting is now in session. So this is of urgency. This needs to, because what happens, what we realize in social media, that if we all push this, because we've done it, I've seen it where we've talked on some subjects, and then next thing you know, I'll see it on another platform. I'm just saying. Don't know if it's us, but I know when you start talking about a subject,
right?
Remember, no one was talking about Project 2025. The only one that was talking about Project 2025 was our Elise right here. She was always saying, "I need to be aware of Project 2025." And now we start talking about it. Before you know it, Joy Reid was talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. Then after that, then you had the awards, with Taraji. So your voice in social media counts.
Yeah.
You have more power than you know. If you send this video to all your friends, all the people in your social circle,
and then ask them to share it in their circles, maybe the media will begin to start saying, wait a minute, there's something going on here. Because what he brought out was really interesting, is that Black people are not voting because some of them have been taken off the roll, and they can't vote because they fill out the pseudo or placebo form and then gets tossed.
The provisional ballot.
The provisional ballot.
Mm-hmm.
So they are voting. There are people voting. There are Black people, people of color voting everywhere. But their votes are not being counted. Could you imagine? More than 2 million votes went to the garbage can.
Yeah, but we also have to be honest and admit there are lots of us who are not voting.
Well, yeah, we definitely know that.
But not showing up, and I don't understand. We need to show up at every election.
Every election.
And when you vote, there's a video I posted the other day. Do not allow anyone, when you pick up your ballot, when you vote in person, do not allow anyone to put any kind of mark on your ballot, because it's possible they'll throw it out.
Yes.
So do not let them mark anything on your ballot. I don't care if they want to mark a D or I don't care what it is. Do not let them mark your ballot. If you are voting and you mailing it in and they had the little, or you putting it in a box and somebody standing there saying, oh, I'll take that. Don't let them take it. If at all possible, go vote in person.
Yes.
And make sure they do not put any markings on your ballot, because they're using lots of strategies to keep your vote from counting.
Well, this was a good. Did you guys enjoy this? Did y'all enjoy this time together?
Yes.
This was really informative. This was really informative.
I'm waiting for the national news to talk about this, to talk about the gentleman's movie.
Yeah.
So that information is out there to the general public and they can understand, because if they can get their voting back by showing up in person, it's possible they can end up with an actual ballot and not a provisional ballot.
Yes.
And there's still most places, I think the latest one you have is up until October the 9th in some states.
Yes, next week.
Get registered. And some of them you can register on that date, but you need to make sure to check your registration.
Yep.
See if you've been challenged. If you've been challenged, go in person to that place if you possibly can and get registered.
That's right. And remember to go to I Will Vote and get all that information as well. And so it's so important, guys. We're coming down to the last 4 weeks. The Republicans are going to do everything they can. Those mega people are going to do everything they can to cheat. Cheat. Mm-hmm. And they were sharing how Kemp's family, I mean, you'll see the video, but Kemp, his family was one of the biggest contributors to this cheating racket of purging people off the roll. Remember how he became governor?
Right.
They purged people off the rolls. Stacey Abrams probably would have been governor.
And remember his position at the time.
Yeah, hello. You got the hen. You got the fox guarding the hen house.
Right.
You got the fox guarding the hen house. So this is where we are, guys. I hope this was meaningful to you. I hope that you learned something. But we have to go out on a good note.
What you got?
Yes.
What is your favorite cookies?
What happened to the soap opera?
Favorite.
He did say soap operas.
Oh, you know what? Okay, sorry. Soap opera did cancel that. Okay, cookies is next time. Soap opera. What's your favorite soap opera? All My Children.
See,
All My Children.
General Hospital.
I was One Life to Live. I really liked it.
Really?
I liked it. I did.
Elise, did you watch soap operas? Something tells me you did?
Oh, yeah. All My Children, General Hospital, Luke and Laura, yes. Jesse and Andy, yes.
ABC.
So everybody in the community, I want to know, what was your favorite soap opera? What was your favorite soap opera? Put it in the chat right now before we leave.
So be specific. It was daytime soap opera, because I saw that Brian put Dallas. Yeah.
General Hospital says Bryson. Bryson says General Hospital.
They need to bring back soap operas, though. They need to
Yeah,
bring
not that
back.
many are
They
left.
brought back game
Not that
shows.
many, I think.
All
As the
My
World Turns,
Children.
All my. And
It
Young
probably
Adults, I think it's still
costs too
around.
much to produce. That's why they don't
I
have
think
them
so.
anymore.
Is that what it
Game
is?
shows
Days
are
of Our
cheap.
Lives.
I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, I see more Days of Our Lives. I see
Really,
more
Days
Days
of
of
Our
Our
Lives?
Lives.
I never
These
got
are
to
the
that.
days of
I
our
did
lives.
like Young and the Restless. I did like Young and the
Young and
Restless.
Restless.
Each of the day, it was the edge of the
See,
night.
Nikki
I
and
was
Victor,
always
you know.
Young and the
ABC fan.
Young and the Restless. Someone says Young and the Restless.
Yeah, Young and the Restless.
I
Yeah.
never watched
When
Young
we
and the
would switch
Restless.
Victor
over
Newman, he was on that one, right?
Victor and Nikki.
Yeah.
What a love story, right?
And of the Right.
Bold and
I
the
remember that
Beautiful.
one.
Bold and the Beautiful. That was later on, right?
No,
As
Bold
the
and the Beautiful has been
world
around for a
turns.
little while.
And
And
Young
As
and
the World Turns.
And you know,
Okay.
Young and the
Ryan's
Restless.
Hope. Did you guys watch
And
Ryan's
listen,
Hope
I
on
watched
ABC?
Ryan's Hope. At one
It doesn't
point.
matter who you are, as long as you grew up in that era, you knew what soap operas were, and you watched it because either your grandparent, your grandmother watched
Your
it, your mother
babysitter.
watched it, your aunts watched it. That means you was watching it.
Your babysitter was watching it. Who else
you
is in
think-
there? I
Yeah.
see Young and
Yeah.
Restless.
And you think
Okay.
about Young and the Restless was one of the first places, one of the first ones where you saw professional Black people.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were professionals.
Oh, I did not know that. I just
Yeah.
knew All My Children was because I was young. I was a teenager, and it was all about Jesse and
And
Tad and all the rest of them.
And all, yeah, Young and the
We were
Restless.
all, we were all in the same age group. We were all in high school.
Young and the Restless had Neil and his wife. They were professional Black.
did.
They were professionals.
Drusilla.
But isn't that interesting though? All my children did something that most soap operas didn't do at that time. Is that they target their audience to high school students.
Oh,
Most of
with
us were in
Andrew
high
and
school.
Jesse.
I wasn't in high school, Ron.
Well, I'm talking about from when it was about
For
us.
you.
It was about us. It wasn't your generation yet. It was
I mean, I
about
watched
us.
it.
Yeah,
I
you may have
watched
watched it, but it was all we had what was it? Jenny and Jenny and Craig and what was it was it was all teen. It was all about high school and college.
Right.
We were
And
all
you
But I
like,
feel a lot of them started doing
Dark
that in like
Shadows.
the early in the 90s. So I remember even like General Hospital did that. They had like a whole section where it was just really about the teenagers and storylines just around them being in school and doing stupid stuff.
yeah.
So yeah,
It was.
But you have you heard the story about behind Chadwick Boseman and All My Children?
No.
Well, how Michael B. Jordan ended up doing a part because they wanted him to. He said he wanted to ask him, why can't I come from a functional family?
Oh.
He asked him about that, so they let him go, and Michael B. Jordan came in.
Really? Is that how you got that wrong?
You can find it. You can find the information. It's out there.
Interesting.
Yeah, because he had Jack as his adopted father.
Right, because they wanted to know, like he had his parents. You know, his parents were totally dysfunctional. His mother was something.
Yeah,
But everybody in soap operas was dysfunctional.
well,
Hello,
the
remember
other thing was
But they were but if you
lot-
look
a
at the
lot-
white people, they were always out. They always had
They were
parents.
raised.
Now. They might have been
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
and
yeah.
dysfunctional, but they had those parents.
A lot of our movie stars today and TV stars all started in soap operas. I mean,
Yes.
I'll give you a really good example too. Even like Kelly Ripa, like she grew up. That's where she got her start, and now
All My
look at
Children.
her.
All My Children.
Well, she and her husband.
And she
Hello.
met her
Yeah,
husband.
they were
All
on
My
All My
Children.
Children together.
Yeah,
And her
Haley. That was her name, Haley.
Yeah.
because she was
And actually,
Adam's
she
daughter.
didn't she do like she played two roles because she had like a evil twin or something like that.
Yes, they were Adam's daughters. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Adam
She played two
had a
roles.
twin.
She did like a hot second. She did for
Yeah,
Adam,
there was
Adam
lots of
played two
that.
roles also. They
It was
got
the
to pay
father
Adam.
of the twin, yeah.
Yes.
All My
It was
Children was
great.
all about the twins, weren't they?
It was a lot.
And you had to love Erica Kane.
Erica
She did
Kane,
Susan Lucci wrong for so
the
long. though. They
epitome
did her
of a
wrong.
soap opera star.
Susan Lucci.
Did her
Yeah.
wrong.
Yes, they did. They did.
And they did her
Susan
wrong.
Lucci
They
wrong
took
for a
her,
long
it took
time,
her
not giving her that Emmy.
decades to get
Yeah,
an Emmy.
yeah.
Yeah, they always gave it to Erica Slazak, who played Victoria.
Vicky, yeah, her
Yeah,
nemesis.
Like Liv, yeah.
It was a mess.
Vicky
Okay, so
and
look at
she had the multiple personality. Let's
so it
not.
looks
start
like
that
All My
conversation.
Children was a favorite, the number one favorite, and it looks like what's the other one? Days of Our Lives gets the second, maybe? Days of Our Lives. It looks like the top two were the All My Children and Days of Our Lives from this audience, from this community.
And Ron, I was gonna
I
tell
like
you my
dark
favorite cookie, but I was like, yeah,
We'll say cookies for Monday.
Next week.
Look, you can't just go to the store and buy mine. It's my own cookie.
Oh, you make your own cookies.
Yes.
So do I expect? Will I be expecting some cookies in the mail for Christmas?
I don't know. I'll be there. I'll be in New York for December the 7th.
Oh, really?
There you go.
I'll be away though. I'll be in North Kakalaki in December 7th.
Yeah, Josiah's gonna be there and performing on December the 7th. So I'm coming to New York.
I'll be at the Cajun Queen.
That is North Carolina.
North Carolina. Well, I was originally supposed to be going to Asheville, but that's canceled now because Asheville's been wiped off the map in some places. And I was still reaching out to the place that we stayed last year. But they haven't returned I sent them a message to Instagram. But a lot of them still don't have service and electricity or Wi-Fi. So hopefully they are good, but the town is devastated and the towns next to them are devastated and the roads are devastated. The roads, the back roads, the highway, the interstate. So it looks very bad. So again, keep the people in the hurricane aftermath. I should say hurricane relief disaster areas in prayers, thoughts, and not just do prayers and thoughts. If you can send them finances through the local charities, don't buy into all there are scammers out there. There's always scammers doing these. It's a shame that people prey on that. But
can we talk about one quick thing when it comes to that? The GoFundMe.
Yeah,
where the former president had
no, we ain't going down there. No, we can't go down there because Trump is poor.
Because you mentioned it now.
Trump is piss poor. I'm sorry to say it that way, but he is piss poor.
GoFundMe can shut that down.
Yes.
They can close it down as a fraud because it's not going to a relief group. That person on there is one of his people.
Yes.
And they had at one point, I know they had gotten over $3 million.
Are you serious?
Yes. Yes.
Scammers.
GoFundMe needs to shut it down. They need to shut it down. I may not be watching TV, but I sure have been checking that on social media.
You staying current. That's all that matters, right?
I didn't think somebody was actually going to put money in there.
A GoFundMe.
People put money in it.
They were putting money in it. It was their budget, their thing, what their ask was to raise $1 million. $3 million under this person's name. You're not even looking at it's not going to the Red Cross. It's not going to the ones
That's a shame.
Piggybacking on in Austin, Texas. I mean, in Augusta, Georgia, the Samaritans. It wasn't going to them. It was going to. It had this woman's name on it. It's a scam. They're. I mean, how can you just keep just robbing people and they just giving you money freely? No, and I don't even understand. It's coming to you. There's no way that money is gonna make it to Carolina, Georgia, or Virginia, any of those places that need it.
But they may not get the money because what happens usually is you have to. There's a certain amount of time before you have to, when you make the request for the money. They do. I know when I did the GoFundMe for the school, you have there's a space of time. They have to. I'm sure someone has told them that this is a scam. They may not release those funds.
They should not release those funds. They should put it up as fraud.
Yeah,
that's fraud.
It's fraud.
That's at this time too. And then let's remind people that the reason that the budget is not bigger for FEMA and their money for the disaster relief is because of the
Republicans denied it.
Republicans specifically.
Yes.
And they voted against that relief last week. So let's keep putting that out there.
There you go. Okay. Well, guys, it's Friday already. Can you believe that? I cannot believe it. Well, guys, have a great weekend. Is anyone doing anything special this weekend?
Spending time with hubby.
like eyes in the deer, like deers in the in headlights. Gwendolyn's like, what?
I'm recording this weekend.
You're recording this weekend. What are you doing, Elise, this weekend?
I'm actually I reached out to a friend of mine who is probably one of the most creative people I've ever seen in the world. And I'm going to go to see her and say, how do you do all the things that you do. She's making greeting cards. She makes guava cheese. She's from Grenada. She has a private practice as a therapist. And these greeting cards are now in a store in Maryland. I was like, okay, so I need to sit at, and she has 2 children.
She stays busy. She keeps it going. So, Chris, what are you doing this weekend? Chris?
Spending time with hubby because I'll be away next week for work.
There you go. And guess what? My friends from the South are coming to New York. They're landing today, landing in a couple of hours. So they already landed.
Oh, great.
Nia is in town, so I get to hang out with my baby sister. I can't wait to spend time with she and Membo. So the Fabulous Four will be back together again today, this weekend. So we have them for, I mean, they have a couple of things they'll be doing, but we will be seeing each other for the next couple of days. And I'm so excited that they're in New York. Welcome to New York. Anyway, sorry. Anyway, I get excited. I love my friends. I have great friends. I don't have a whole posse, but I have strategic, great friends.
That's important.
That's important. Okay, guys. Have a great weekend. Have fun. Do something that makes you smile.
Yes.
Okay. Later. Should I say goodbye? Bye.
Yes, goodbye.
Bye.